Dead Sense Gaming.
Are you ready?
Wow. Nice work, people. Nice work. Nice work. That's all I gotta say. The last video, I can't believe hit as big as it did. We literally started with 20 subscribers and moved our way up to, now we're up over 60 I think now. And boy, I tell you, going from literally no views to, well, just about 300. It's our first episode, so that's how we'll go. Again, with me I've got my good buddy Killa, aka Ice Dog, as you may remember from the last video.
Hey, morning, everybody. I'd just like to put it out there. Happy Father's Day to everybody.
That's right. Oh, it is Father's Day. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm a father, so yeah. I know.
How many kids you got?
I've got 4 now.
Okay, 4 kids. I got 1. Probably working to another, but we don't know yet. That all depends.
Anyhow, let's just get that disclaimer out of the way here.
Yeah, right. Okay, so these are real life events. Again, we have to express that because we don't want to hear your stories about our stories. So it's not for anybody. A mature audience, we prefer, would be listening with this and take it just as...
I don't want some young child about 18 or 19 telling the police, yeah, you learned how to do this stuff on YouTube.
That's right, yeah. That's not the idea behind this. It's, we want to just share some stories, and that's really at the end of it. That's all it is. So what...
So today what we're going to talk about...
No. Before I'll cut you off. Sorry. I'm hungover as shit today. Oh. Now, and I rode my bike. Now, the best way to kill a hangover is obviously riding a motorbike at 130 kilometers an hour. I don't know. Have you done that?
No, not at 130, not hungover anyway.
Oh, man, it's the best. Like, getting that rush of fresh air, like, as you're cruising down the highway.
I can't see that being a good thing, that rush of fresh air. The only thing I can think about wanting to do that rush of fresh air is make me heave all over the place when I'm riding at 130, which I can't see being too comfortable.
Us professional drinkers, we don't get into, the heavy
professional
heaving.
Drinker.
We're not heaving anything. We're not. Nobody's
professional
sick.
in everything, I guess.
Well, hey, that's the tip of the day, we'll call it. How to kill a hangover. Some people like orange juice and McDonald's. I like a motorbike ride.
At 130 down
at 130.
The highway.
That's right. Yeah. No traffic. There was nobody around. I was just fucking cranking on it. Anyways, so yeah,
So today's episode.
Yes, today's episode we were going to talk about
how it all began.
Right.
We sort of gave you a bit of how to get the hooker to work for you, which we'll go into more about how to get other people to work for you at times and stuff like that, make your life a lot easier. While you're an addict, you have other things going on, like getting high every day, multiple times a day. But yeah, how it all began.
How did it start?
I guess it really, when I was younger, in my teens, and I had smoked a bit of pot, a bit of hash, drank here and there, I always said I would never do coke because in every movie I seen, it just looked like bad news.
Right.
So we happened to be at a party one time, and we're pretty intoxicated. Some guy pulls out a bit of dope, throws a couple lines out there. Pure
pressure. At this point, you've never done it before?
I've never done it before.
Okay.
I thought, what the hell, give it a whirl. A bit of pure pressure. There's 5 or 6 people around doing it. Everybody seems to be having a great time. So yeah,
Killer got peer pressured into cocaine.
Not saying that's their fault. I'm
okay.
Control my own actions. But when you're drunk, everything that you might be thinking that you wouldn't do, you would do anyways. When you're drunk, you have no control.
Right.
You're just free flying. So yeah, that's what happened. I did a couple lines and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So that leads into, I don't think I did it the next weekend, but a few weekends later, same sort of thing. And then it seemed like to progress to every time we were drinking.
Right.
You'd want to do a couple lines.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out with a couple people that the second they had a drink or two into them, that's the thing they were doing.
It was almost their excuse to start doing it.
I think a lot of people in the beginning actually use alcohol because it does. It lowers all the defenses that you might have had.
And if a person's never done cocaine before, describe what
the first initial
what is the
rush.
First initial
Your heart is just beating like a motherfucker.
Right. So
it's just pounding.
It's like drinking 10 Red Bulls in a shot.
Yeah. Well, this is before when I first started doing coke. I don't think there was Red Bull. Red Bull's only been around for the last few years.
Right.
But yeah, it was a huge adrenaline rush. Okay, now also what it would do is when you were drinking, it would sober you up.
Yeah.
Like you could drink. We used to be able to drink like fish when you were doing a few lines. The other thing too, when you first start doing coke, you can fuck like rabbits for hours on end.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's in the beginning though. Some people it affects as time goes on. It affects them differently, and now they can't fuck at all.
Like whiskey dick. I mean,
yeah. It happens, right? You know, when you're young,
that.
you have a couple of drinks, you see a girl, it's wah, wah, wah. It's hard all the time. Well, it's hard with the fucking breeze blowing, never mind anything else.
You blow on it and it's up. Oh, wait, isn't that how it works, actually?
Anyhow.
Anyway, getting back to that, yeah.
So, yeah, it started out as a weekend thing. You know, doing every once in a while, having a few drinks with some buddies. It turned into being every time you were drinking.
Yeah.
So, and as life goes on, as other problems arise in my life, I started to drink a bit more, so it seemed like it was becoming a nightly thing.
So now you've transitioned from just the casual
guy, maybe
every once in a while,
$50, maybe $100 on a weekend here and there. So now you're you're getting paid on a Friday, you're bringing in $1,500, and by Monday morning you have $100 left in your pocket.
Weekend millionaire. That stuff will rob your bank account. Yeah,
rob your bank account, because what happens is, sure, you go out and buy a gram, so it costs you $100. You give your couple buddies a lines or whatever, then they'll go get one, and then now that's out in about half an hour. Then you're going to get another one. Now you buy an 8-ball. Now that's $200.
Right.
You know, a couple hours later you're calling again. It keeps you awake all night. So you end up starting a party on a Friday night at, say, 8 o'clock at night. Your party doesn't end until sometime Sunday when you're broke and out of money.
Yeah.
And usually your last couple of phone calls you're making to that dealer that's been supplying you all night is trying to get cuffs, trying to get them to give you stuff till the next time you get paid.
Now you're realizing, now this stuff's really expensive. Now I have to figure a way to be able to do more of it. Now I can't just buy it with my paychecks anymore. Now, what's the next step?
Well, now you sort of, with most people, like I've seen a lot of people start the same way, where it's a small addiction, figure they can do it on weekends and stuff, it turns into a full-time addiction. Now you realize that you're broke all the time because of it.
Right.
But you try to blame being broke on other things. You don't really want to realize that you've now got a serious addiction.
Yeah, you don't want to blow your paycheck and then all of a sudden realize, I actually might have a problem.
Yeah, you don't want to actually say to yourself that, yeah, you have an addiction, you have a problem, right? But
okay, so now where does it turn into a deal thing? Like
it all starts because now what you're trying to do is you're the guy, and I was the guy that had the connection to go get it for me and my buddies. So now it's every time my buddies wanted something, I would make money off them.
Right, and that's how it started.
I was maybe paying $70 a gram, but charging my buddies $100 a gram.
Right.
So now I'm making $30 a gram. So now I'm trying to get more of my buddies hooked on it, so that the more they go, the more
cash you're bringing.
The more, and basically I'm just trading that money for more coke anyway. So they're basically, I'm trying to use them to support my habit by picking up for them is supporting my habit.
And you're supporting your own habit. Yeah. Wow.
But that only lasts for so long, and then your habit gets worse because now you're doing it every day. Mm-hmm. Now you need to find.
So how did you function at work while doing that every day? Like, how would you?
Because a lot of times, like there was times when the one time I couldn't remember where I left my car. Mm-hmm. Okay, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. I figured that I need to get some sleep, so you nod off for about an hour. You're not really sleeping. You're sort of tossing and turning, thinking about, well, I wish I could do more coke. I wish I didn't have to go to work and stuff like that. There was a time, like I said, I woke up, didn't know where my car was, went to go hail down a cab on the main street. My boss drove by. So he stopped to pick me up. I got in the truck. He took a one look at me. We went about 3 blocks. He told me to go home.
Yeah.
I was still high and drunk.
Still high as shit, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you can't for a while you can kid yourself thinking nobody else knows this, but people see through it. Mm-hmm. And there's other people like nowadays, because I've been there, I can drive down the street and point out people that are users.
Right.
Because I can see all the little things, and having conversation with people, the lies you tell, the little stories you tell, you pick up on all that stuff because you used to tell those stories and lies.
Yeah.
So you know what it's all about.
Yeah. So
but you basically go from just sort of doing it yourself on the weekends here and there, then it becomes more. Now you're sort of supporting your buddies, and now you realize that that's not helping anymore. Now you actually, basically, my job's not supporting me. I know I can make more money selling dope.
Right.
So I'm going to quit my job and I'm just going to go into full-time selling cocaine.
Right. So now you're starting to see like a good cash flow coming in. You're seeing massive profits, like on a
You're not though.
Not at the beginning.
In the beginning too, when your addictions, the thing is, in the beginning, you have very few customers, so you're basically making enough to support your small habit. As you get bigger, what a lot of people's problems is, and what one of my problems was too, is as you get bigger and have a bit more dope lying around, so now instead of just going and running and getting it for your buddies, now you have some actual product also. You've made enough money now, you have a bit of your own product now that you're not using, you're still using a lot, but you're still maintaining a bit to have your own product going on, and you're selling that to your buddies. It just, now you're using more, and your addiction now, because it's always around that, you're not making that much more money, you're just having more dope laying around is basically what it is. So you have because now you have a lot more friends too.
Right. Everybody's your buddy when you got tons of dope.
Everybody's your buddy. When I used to walk into bars and stuff like that, which we'll get into stories down the road of how I used to pay bouncers and stuff like that to let me in backdoor on long lineups and stuff like that. How guys that were working for me got jacked up, knowing that the only way they were going to get back to the bar is if I paid off the bouncers. The bouncers want to put an extra $100, $150 in their pocket. They would jack up one of my guys making a deal in the bathroom.
Wow.
And then bar them. And then come to me and say, give me $100, we'll forget about it, and your buddy's allowed back in. It was
a vicious scam that worked, well, to your favor, I guess.
Well, it worked to their favor too, because it put money in their pocket. But I had no problem paying. If people are going to let me sell dope in their establishment, I have no problem paying for that.
Hell yeah.
Because it keeps them off the street. My guys aren't getting jacked up by the cops, aren't getting robbed by other dealers and stuff like that.
Well, and the networking availabilities, in a sense, are that much higher when you're in a bar scene. Like,
well, in a bar scene, as soon as I get one or two drinks on them, now all those defense they had about everything that they wouldn't normally do are now way lowered. This is where you're going to make your money, is in the bar. And starting out, that's where I started.
That's where it started.
I started basically carrying dope with me into the bar, people getting to know me, so that basically Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, all my money was basically made through the bars.
So at the beginning, were you ever worried about the authorities, the cops or anything like that?
In the beginning, you figure, I'm so small, I'm usually only carrying about maybe up to 5 or 6 grams of flaps on me.
Yeah.
And when I first started doing it, it wasn't as big in the news as it is nowadays. Like, when I first started selling, nobody talked about crack. It was freebase. It wasn't crack.
Right.
It was freebase when I first started doing it. So it wasn't, I don't think it was out there in the media as much as it is today. Also, because when I first started doing it, the internet wasn't around, stuff like that. People didn't have these fancy cell phones where you could take pictures of people.
Right.
YouTube wasn't really all that big a deal.
Well, there was no YouTube.
Because there was no internet. I'm sure there was a form of internet between businesses, but people in their house didn't have it. So the media, that's why everything's so expensive. Everything that happens nowadays, people see right away.
That's why we've got all these defenses up now. We got these bubble wrap kids and things like that is now because everything's so accessible. Like, I can take a picture with my phone and put it on the internet, and all of a sudden, instantly, everybody
sees what's
going on. And then that's how news stories are brought up because
I think there's too much of that. Like, in some things it's good, in some ways it's good. But other ways, it just scares the shit out of people.
Yeah. Wow. Well, look at that. We're at almost 15 minutes already.
We're going to figure out how to cut these things to a set time limit.
Yeah, we want to chop them up. We don't want to give away too much versus, not keeping the flow going too, right? But, I think that.
But as long as you guys are enjoying it and that, you have any questions, anything you want to hear, I did this for quite a few years, between a 10 and 15 year period of when I first started using to when I finally decided that enough was enough.
Right.
And after I'd done my jail time and stuff like that.
So there's a plethora of
lots
stories.
of stuff out there, and I've seen some ugly, crazy things that we will get into, and just hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah.
Anyways, have a good day.
So if you liked it, please, of course, as always, like, rate, subscribe. Actually, I don't even think you can rate on YouTube anymore. Anyway, make sure you do some commenting too, and follow us on Twitter at Overkill204. We'll check you guys next time. Have a good day.
Peace.